Star Children! So I am trying to keep up with vlogging, and by keep up I mean this is my first one since I've announced it. So I am in the process of cooking some vegan pancakes. Hold please. So I have been mentioning that I wanted to do a vegan pancake video, and I'm still planning on doing that. I'm actually planning on doing a bit of a series of vegan noms, because if you guys have been watching my channel for any length of recent time, you know that I am vegan. Hold on. And so one of my favorite things is to cook yummy vegan food, because I'm a vegan and I like yummy food. And so it's actually kind of like a really fun, like kind of exciting, let me see, are you like seeing me? Yeah. It's a very exciting thing and kind of like a little bit of a treasure hunt to make, you know, your normal stuff that you like to eat while vegan. So I'm doing that. So I am making these right now because I'm making dinner for me and my mommy. We're doing breakfast for dinner. Hold on. So I am doing this, but I will be making a more like legitimate video because one of my friends, who is a videographer, has offered to help me make my videos so that, you know, I don't have to do this. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about is something that I have been watching videos on for ages now. I mean, like ages and ages. And I've recently been watching this guy. I think his name is Chase Ross, I believe. And he is transgender and awesome. And I find the whole transgender thing amazing. I think it's very cool being gender fluid. I can sort of identify, hold on. I can sort of identify with not feeling like 100% just one or the other for sure. However, I'm very comfortable in my female body. So for me, it's not like a huge issue. Like I feel more female than male, but I definitely have being bisexual and all of that goodness. And also the side thing of being like a starseed and remembering your past lives is that I remember my past lives and I wasn't always female. So I do identify with being male. Like my soul is not all that attached to needing to be, you know, female. So anyway, I've been watching these videos and it's amazing. And what I really wanted to talk about was we are heading towards, you know, spirit is genderless, and so spirit is genderless. So when you take that into consideration and you see, like, hold on, I'm kind of like all over the place here. Oh, notice almond milk, vegan. You know, gender is duality, you know, the two, yin and yang, the whole good thing. And so it is an expression of separateness or duality because, you know, we are separate and then we have to come together to create life. Life is oneness. It's kind of a great little thing there. So as our planet raises in consciousness, we're actually going to be experiencing this, you know, kind of genderless experience, because once you hit spirit realm, you don't need bodies to procreate. It's all thought-based. You know, we create our realities with our thoughts. So we won't need gender. It's not really necessary. It's an experience of separateness and duality. So as we raise in consciousness, we're going to start noticing that people on the planet are going to feel less, you know, are going to feel less, you know, one or the other, but, you know, a little bit of both, more like gray area. And so that's what you're seeing with the, you know, the homosexual community and transgender community. It's not so much that, like, because, you know, in transgender, you know, you are going from one to the other, but the idea is that there's now gray area, like gender fluid, all this stuff. Like, it's creating oneness through duality not being so obvious. And so, you know, also Teal Swan talks about this idea of transgender is, you know, we come onto the planet with, you know, specific soul, you know, purpose. You know, we come onto the planet with certain things that we want to experience. And the idea of transgender is this idea of deeply, deeply having conflict in who you are, because, you know, through separateness we learn oneness. So not knowing who you are is an amazing platform to learn who you are. And so this idea of transgender, that's why it's really, you know, it's becoming so much more of a thing on the planet, is because we are raising in frequency, and people are, you know, again, that gray area. You know, once there's gray area, it's a lot harder to have separateness when everyone's just on a spectrum, because then everyone's flowy. So that's why, you know, on our planet right now, we are experiencing, I forgot the banana. So through, you know, this gray area, we are creating oneness, and we are creating a lack of separateness. And the lack of separateness is such a lack way to say that. But my point is that this idea of transgender I find very, very fascinating, and I personally am constantly fascinated by human beings. You know, I'm always on YouTube seeing all those like weird documentaries and all those like, you know, on cults and people who think they've been abducted, and, you know, weird surgeries and people changing themselves and my strange addiction and all that good stuff, because I find people fascinating. You know, we have this very, very small idea of what normal is, and when you really realize that what is more normal is being weird. Like, I don't think I've met anyone who's genuinely normal. It's just a perception, you know. This is this, you know, again, the hologram, this illusion that there's something called normal. But even like, I mean, even just going to Australia, which is actually very much like America, only if it's, you know, if it got its shit together. Even in Australia, like, what's normal there, you know, a lot of things are different there. And that's just in a Western country. You know, you go to Africa or China or anything, and what's normal there is just completely bizarre. And so, like, who's determining what's normal? Is that in your personal social group? And who decides that? Because that's always shifting constantly. I mean, check out the 1700s, people. I mean, France in the 1700s, woo! That was normal. It ain't now. I kind of wish it was. That'd be fucking awesome. Pardon my French. So, you know, what is normal? And so I think things like, you know, gender issues and, you know, polyamory and, you know, all of that good stuff is really, you know, the planet shifting and, you know, realizing that anything that is reality, anything that we consider as normal is all an illusion. And, you know, more and more people are starting to realize this, and they're going, what the fuck, people? Like, how, like, everyone's like, no, be normal. It's like, wait, what? But what is normal? We don't know anymore. I add cinnamon to this because exciting. So, you know, that's what I've been thinking about and researching. And honestly, you know, there's so much fear around things changing. You know, there's always been fear around change. And when, you know, this is the first time in, this is the first time in history where there really isn't much of a block, you know, unless you're in specific countries, you know, like China or Russia or whatever, or North Korea, where, you know, knowledge is traveling faster than, you know, the governments can keep up with. You know, what's keeping us separate is really not much, you know, like, you start realizing that, like, you know, there's so much more knowledge going around, and so you see these people and you realize that these people we've been taught to be afraid of, these people who, you know, are in these, like, weird situations. I mean, like, hey, you know, I identify as being an alien, so what up, you know, like, you start realizing that these people who you know, are different from us are really beautiful, and sometimes even more interesting than beautiful than like what we have been told is normal, you know, like way more interesting for sure. And you know, just like a painting, you know, like yes, a black and white painting can be beautiful, but you know, Van Gogh didn't use just black and white, you know. Like when movies went to color, you know, there was so much more we could do with it, and you know, it's so much more visually and, you know, so much more stimulating as like an experience. And in my opinion, we're here to experience, you know, we're souls, we're the universe perceiving itself to learn who we are. And so why wouldn't we want a ton of really super interesting weird experiences and like people and spectrums, and like that just seems like that would make life so much more interesting, don't you think? Like I think the more we are, you know, open and able to show our true colors, the more visually and experientially pleasing reality will be. I don't know if that sentence made sense, but I'm going with it. So anyway, this is something I've been thinking about recently, and go check out Chase Ross. I think that's his name. I think that's the name of it. Of the channel. No, it's not the name of the channel. No, Chase Ross is the trans guy. No, what is the name of the channel? Chase. Yeah, I can look it up. What am I looking for? I'm looking for my YouTube app. Uppercase Chase 1. I like that. So that's his channel, and I'm pretty sure he goes by he, him pronouns. Pretty sure. It may be them, but I'm pretty sure it's he, him. But what I love about his channel is he is really about education and being super open about his transition. And you know, I see a lot more like M to F, which is male to female transitions, than I've seen you know, F to M, which is female to male. And that might just be because, you know, like what I've seen. Maybe that's not true. But I just like his openness, and he, you know, he like reviews Packers and sex toys and talks about transmitted diseases and like, you know, what happens when you go off of tea, and what, you know, what happens when you go on tea, and like all this stuff. And I'm just like, this is fascinating, just in general, just to like learn about other human beings and their experiences and struggles. And he just seems like a beautiful person. Like, shout out to Chase. I would totally want to meet you because you seem awesome. Like, oh my god, I'd love to be friends with you. But anyway, yeah, really, really awesome person. And I just, you know, I get so inspired when people are fully in themselves and, you know, and can show their vulnerable side. That's something I really love about him too. You know, he posts old videos of himself, you know, being confused, not knowing what he wanted, and through his transition and all that stuff. And it makes it so much easier for people going through the same thing, which is again why I'm posting, because, you know, when you think you're being, you know, contacted by aliens, you start thinking you're a bit crazy. And so it's like, no, you're not crazy, you're just awakening. So I'm inspired by other people who are going through other types of awakenings, transitions, and I think it's awesome because people are awesome. Yes. So anywho, I am going to bake these, which is going to be awesome. I'm super looking forward to it. Awesome. And so yeah, if you guys want to see, well, I'm gonna probably post them whether you comment this or not, but I will be posting hopefully regular vegan recipes with my friend. So like I've been promising for literally like months now, I'm gonna do this first. I'm going to make vegan pancakes, and I'm gonna do like what I eat in a day and all these cool things. Also, my mom makes a ton of really awesome vegan stuff, so maybe I can see if she will join in and show some of her recipes, because damn, they're good. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. Stay cool, guys, and I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm so distracted. Sometimes I think I'm like a fairy, where it's like, you know how the fairies, they talk about you can only have like one emotion at a time. They're either angry or super sad or super happy. Like sometimes I feel that, but like almost everything. Maybe that's not true. Again, I'm literally babbling because I'm focusing on something else, you know. Right. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to stop doing this while I talk to you guys. All right. Anyway, much love. If you want to check out my other social media links and stuff, that's all down in the description down below. My Etsy, my Instagram, my website. If you want to get a tarot reading by me, or want to meet up with me on Skype for soul spirit coaching sessions, self-love sessions, you can go to my website and check that out. Or you can go to my other myriad of things and check those out as well. So much love, you guys. Mwah. Talk to you soon. Don't forget, it's all about the soul journey. Bye.